What is up, Pyromaniacs? Pyrostasis here. We're back in the world of Runescape, except this is kind of something different. This is Runescape 3. It is something I don't know, it's something I've been fooling around with. Something that for whatever reason kind of appeals to me. I'm not sure exactly why it does, but it does. So, you know, not gonna worry about it, not gonna fight it, just gonna kind of do whatever I want to do for fun. So what we've got here, this is my Ironman RuneScape 3 character. For those of you guys who may not be familiar with what Ironman entails or how it works, basically it is a RuneScape character that cannot trade with other people, can't use the GE, can't accept aid from other folks. Basically it's just you versus the world, and that's pretty much it. The problem with that is, or I guess I should say the challenge comes in with the aspect that you can't actually do any trading, you can't sell, you can't purchase. So if you want something, you got to do it yourself. So if you want to buy a new tool, you got to make it yourself. If you want to buy a new set of armor or weapons, gear of any kind, you got to make it yourself. If you make something, you can't sell it to anybody other than an NPC. Now granted, you can sell some stuff to NPCs, but from what I understand, NPCs are definitely not the usual money makers for the average person that plays RuneScape. Now there are two different types of Ironman mode. There is, well, I guess technically there's 4 types of Ironman mode. There's obviously, I guess the first 2 main ones would be RuneScape 3 and 2007 normal Ironman. I'm playing that version. And then there's hardcore Ironman on RuneScape 3 and RuneScape 2007. The hardcore version is basically if you die, GG no re, that's it. From what I understand, there may be a way to purchase something in-game so that if you die, you then convert to a normal character or a normal Iron Man character, but I'm not 100% sure about that. I need to do a little bit more research. I will say I was rather tempted to try a hardcore Iron Man playthrough, but the problem with hardcore is I literally do not know the game. For those of you guys who may be new to my channel, I don't know anything about RuneScape. Well, I mean, that's not entirely true. I started playing RuneScape very, very, very casually when Deadman Mode came out. It kind of appealed to me because of... it basically appealed to my Ultima Online roots from back in 1997, back when Ultima Online was basically Deadman Mode everywhere. With the exception of skill loss. Now, I mean, skill loss was eventually implemented for PvP, but it was nothing like it. Well, actually, I guess it is kind of like Deadman Mode now, because if you're an innocent, I don't know if you still lose skills in town. They've made a bunch of rule changes since I followed it, because I got real busy over the holidays. So the reason we're kind of taking a look at this and not so much Deadman Mode is Deadman Mode, to me, and from what I can understand, is more of an advanced mode, obviously. I mean, pretty much everybody will agree with that. But the catch with it is, I just simply don't know enough about RuneScape to even know what to do. And the problem that you run into with RuneScape is you are dealing with almost 20 years worth of content and information. And the problem that you run into with that is... there are spots to hunt in RuneScape 3, there are spots to hunt in 2007, and then there are spots to hunt in Deadman Mode, and all of those vary. And there's a lot of similarities in content from RuneScape 3 and RuneScape 2007. For the most part, the towns and layouts are the same. I think RuneScape 3 has some more area than 2007 does. Obviously, RuneScape 3's combat system is completely different. But from what I understand, the core quests, for the most part, are the same. And a lot of the area is, for the most part, the same. So the benefit would be is if I learn RuneScape 3, it will at least somewhat prepare me a little bit better for Deadman Mode, should I decide to play it. I think Deadman Mode's one of those games that I really want to play and I really want to get into, but the challenge, it's one of those things that, like, on paper sounds good. It's like, man, I would love to be an astronaut, and then they strap you into that chair and accelerate you to Mach 8, and you're like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want to have, my eyeballs squirting out through my butthole because of G-forces, and you kind of change your mind. So I think it's one of those things that I'm not sure if it's feasible for me to actually enjoy Deadman Mode. Now that being said, I'm definitely going to keep playing it from time to time, but it's kind of like playing Dark Souls on crack in the aspect that, it's a lot of fun when you're doing well, and then, something happens, you either fuck up or you die or, whatever, and it stops being fun and you rage quit and, you need some time and, whatnot. And I guess the real issue is my time is so very limited at the moment that I'd rather play something that, I know I can at least have some fun with. And I don't know why the audio's not coming through. I guess I will turn things up a little bit. I could have sworn I have music muted, but I have that muted for a reason. But I'm not hearing any game audio at all. So I've done some tweaking. Maybe it's broke. I don't know. Either way, so my goal for now is we're going to screw around here. I can't promise that we're going to have a regular series here. It's something that we might do, or we may not. It just kind of depends. Part of that will be based on, whether you guys like the series, obviously. I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, you're playing on RuneScape 3, RuneScape 3 is gay, and I can understand that because there's... Basically, RuneScape's community is divided into two parts. Your 2007 community, which is the originals, the old school, the way it's meant to be played. And then you have, RuneScape 3, which is kind of a modernization of the game, which changes a lot of the basic tenements. And the nice thing about RuneScape 3 is obviously the graphic engine is much better. It's pretty. It's different. But, if you're old school, it's like, oh, dude, this thing's fucking awful. Why would you want to do that? Blah, blah, blah. So, I can understand from both sides of the table. For me personally, I don't really have any pull for the original. So, for me, I don't really care, don't get me wrong, I can understand why some people might, but, for me, it's more about just the game in general. And as fun as, 2007 is, if I'm going to be playing one of these and only one, then, RuneScape 3 is a little bit easier. It's a little bit more accessible. It's prettier. The client is a little bit more recording friendly. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it appeals to me. So, don't get me wrong, I'm still going to be screwing around on 2007 from time to time. But, like I said, my time is limited. So if I have to pick one of the two series to do, this one seems like a better fit for me for now. So we'll see how that goes and that changes. So for right now, our basic goals, we're kind of working on I guess I can just click, is it this button? Yeah. There are daily challenges in RuneScape 3. Now this is something that RuneScape 2 doesn't have. RuneScape 2007 doesn't have, or at least not that I'm aware of. And basically what you do here is you're given a series of tasks. And they say daily, but they're not actually daily. As you can see, I have about 4 days to complete these tasks. I don't know how it all works. I don't know if you get yours, if it turns into like a weekly task and you're supposed to complete one of them per day. But I was out here mining clay, and, we've got our 42 clay now. Now it's go chop 18 normal logs, then it's go fletch bronze arrows or bronze darts, et cetera, et cetera. And you get a bunch of different little areas here. So for the moment, I'm kind of working on smithing. The reason why is, with smithing, we're going to be able to make our own tools. The problem here is it's not as simple as just, coming out here and pounding on a few rocks. We're going to have to do, I wouldn't say a fairly significant amount of stuff, but we are going to have to get some stuff done. Now, before we can, let's see, when can we mine iron? This is the skill system for, what do you call it? For mining. You can see the different stuff that's available here. I don't quite understand. There we go. So you can see I can mine up to 10, but I can't do iron yet. So to do iron, we need to get to 15. We're currently at 10, which means I need to mine quite a bit more tin and copper. Now, we also have to smelt this stuff down. Once it's smelted down, then we can, do something with it. So, smithing and mining kind of go hand in hand between these two skills. So I do want to get iron, at least tools, as quickly as possible. They're not a ton ton better than what I'm currently using, but it's something to work towards. It's going to give us a bonus, and it will help pretty much everything else we do. Now, obviously there are some things and some tools we can buy from NPCs, but I'm not going to be able to go to the GE and just buy it from another player. In fact, I can't buy it anywhere from another player, which is even more difficult than Deadman Mode, because Deadman Mode, no GE as well, but at least with Deadman Mode, there's an auction website. I think I've showed you guys this before in one of my old DMM videos. And, you go there, you look for what you need, you find one of the, people that it's currently logged in and actively selling it. And then you send them a message and be like, yo, bro, hook me up. And then you guys meet up and bam, you're done. It's not as easy as, the GE is, but, one of the nice things about never playing RuneScape before is I don't have a history of using the GE. So I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything because I never used it. And a lot of quality of life changes are kind of like that. It's like, when I was your age, we walked both, ways to school uphill in the snow, and that was normal. It felt fine. And then, the bicycle came out and we were riding our bike. We're like, man, I can't believe I ever walked, and then the car came out and it's like, fuck, I can't believe I ever rode a bike or walked. So if you've never used it, you can understand how it might be convenient, but it's a little different than actually utilizing it. So, and this fucking rock in the middle hates me. What the hell? God dang, dude, it must be like the Terminator rock. Jesus. Anyways, so our focus right now, like I said, we're going to be trying to make a bunch of bronze ingots to try. We're making the bronze ingots because we're going to have a bunch of tin and we're going to have a bunch of copper. Obviously, well, maybe not obviously. Unfortunately, we cannot get copper at this mine. That's okay because we can get copper. Let me pull it up real quick. We can get copper over here. And the nice thing is with the changes in RuneScape 3, I can TP to Lumbridge and then there's a bank right here. Now, obviously, I could walk from here to here. There's an argument that might actually be a little quicker than what I'm doing. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I don't really care either way. But we are going to be bouncing back and forth between here and Lumbridge to get those knocked out. Now with our daily tasks, once again, we're currently tracking clay. I don't know where Nemi Forest is. Apparently this is a place it wants me to go to. It may be something that we need to go take a look at. But we're going to be working on, after this batch of tin ore, we're going to start working on logs, because 18 logs is really pretty easy. In fact, we can get that in one inventory's worth, and then we've already got some some bronze back at base. However, I am going to go do one quick inventory's worth of ore at the other mine just to kind of smelt both stacks up and make sure that we have plenty for our 75 darts that we've got to make. 75 darts, maybe a lot. Now we're going to go with, well, I don't know. If I go with darts, I think darts are a little bit easier to make than bows. And they give the same, I was thinking, well, let's do bow because that's going to give us archery experience. But from what I recall in RuneScape, ranged is the same, whether it's archery or throwing. It's still quote unquote ranged attacks. So we're definitely going to just use darts because I think darts kind of simplifies the process. I think, because it may not. The reason I say it may not is we may still need the knife. In RuneScape, in 2007, we needed a knife to make a lot of the range stuff, and we're probably going to need that here as well. So I think we will go and snag that. Now, I know some of you guys are like, well, you're playing Blade and Soul right now. Are you really going to have time to play RuneScape 2007? The answer to that is probably no. But RuneScape and RuneScape and Blade and Soul are two different games. And like I said, I enjoy RuneScape for whatever reason. I know the lovers of RuneScape are going to be like, duh, it's RuneScape, it's fucking amazing. But, there's a lot of other people who are out there like, dude, it's like old. And it's just grindy. Why do you like it? I don't know. There's a psychological side of things. What was it? Back in the late 90s and early 2000s. What do you call the early millenniums? From 2000 to like 2006. I don't know what you call that era. It's Like you have the 80s, you have the 90s, you have the 70s, you have the 60s, and then you have the 00s, the double aughts. What do you call the 2000 bracket there? I don't know. The early 2000 era is when EverQuest really pulled out and had some popularity as it was coming into its own. It came out right after Ultima Online in 1999, or maybe it was 98. It was either 98 or 99. Either way, EverQuest was one of the games that really focused on psychological aspects of addiction, basically. And a lot of games kind of focus on that. And I don't want to say that these games were designed with how can we make our players addicted to our game? I don't think that was necessarily their intention, but it may have been. I don't know. Fuck it. The thing about it though is, and where's the copper? There we go. With EverQuest, the way it worked is you have a lot of little incremental upgrades, and it's basically the same addiction that casinos utilize. It's randomized, as in you can never know exactly when you're going to get an upgrade, and that's not entirely true with a video game, but it kind of is. You don't always know when you're going to get something. And you get a lot of little bonuses. So you're not necessarily going to get a jackpot, but you're going to get, you might win $1 here or $2 there. And with RuneScape, it's very similar. You have all of these little skills here. So you got all these little skills that, you're working on leveling up, and each one of those little skills eventually is going to unlock, a new tier of mining, a new tier of weaponry, a new tier of, whatever the hell it unlocks. You've got your daily challenges if you're on, RuneScape 3. You've got quests, you got mini games. There's a lot of stuff there that you have to do and to play that gives you progression in some way, form, or fashion that kind of continues to draw you in or to suck you in, and that's what kind of keeps you getting that little ooh, and honestly, it triggers the dopamine responses in your brain, which is what leads to the addiction. So, it basically turns you into a brain drug addict or junkie, however you want to call it. So that's part of the reason, most likely, is I grew up on those games, and so I guess my brain is kind of hardwired to that style of setup. But I would say even kids these days growing up, you got Minecraft, you got MCMMO, you got those little things that you're working on to level up, and it kind of grabs you. It's like, ooh, I got a skill up. Oh, I got 10 skill up. I got this new ability. And you get those things, and it kind of lures you in, so to speak. And you don't really realize it when you first start playing, but it has a tendency to kind of hook you and make the game that might not necessarily appeal to you normally appeal to you. The flip side of that is there is a group of people out there that just it doesn't even trigger with. It's kind of like colorblind people. It doesn't do anything for them, and at some points it's a drastic turnoff because they can actually think of it kind of like an actor doing a play. If you can get into it and you can kind of lose yourself in the storyline, then for you it's a big deal. But like wrestling, perfect example. If you can actually enjoy wrestling without thinking it's fake, then it's like, oh man, the Ultimate Warrior and blah 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 is kicking the Hulk Hogan's ass, and those guys don't even do wrestling anymore, but you get what I'm saying. You can get into the drama and the conflict there that's purely manufactured. Then somebody else who might not know about wrestling just looks at it and it's like, dude, it's a bunch of guys who are doing a script. It's not even real. I don't understand, So that's kind of the way these games work is, if it pushes your buttons, it hooks you, it pulls you in. Whereas, if it doesn't, it doesn't. So for whatever reason, it does for me. I don't know if this is going to be a series we're going to do regularly. If you guys end up liking it, if it ends up doing well, we will. I don't think Ironman on RuneScape 3 is very popular. I know if you go look at Twitch, there are a ton of people doing 2007 Ironman and doing 2007 Deadman Mode. When it comes to RuneScape 3, that number drastically reduces. You know, you might see 1 or 2 people with a decent following. I mean, I'm not saying that there's not people out there doing it, but, you know, you look at the top streamers for RuneScape, and most of them are 2007. You look at the top YouTubers for RuneScape, most of them are 2007. I don't know why that is. I do know that, you know, according to the numbers from Jagex's website, RuneScape 3 is more popular than 2007. I think it's just kind of one of those situations of a vocal minority. And I wouldn't even say minority. I mean, we're talking about the difference between 75,000 and 50,000. So, well, I mean, let's go look at how many people are on right now. Let's see, RuneScape. As I pull it up on my other monitor, because I don't want to screw up the recording over here. All right, click it up. All right, let's see. Let's go to the full website. Yeah, we got to skill up. All right, so right now on RuneScape 3, there are 59,428 people. So we'll round up 60,000. Let's click on RuneScape 2007, and right now there are 30,000 people playing RuneScape 2007. Now this is on a Thursday night at about midnight, so, you know, definitely not, I wouldn't call it prime time. If you're on the West Coast, then that's 10 p.m. That's still technically, you know, prime time if you're in the United States. It's really, you know, ass crack of dawn in the morning if you are in Europe. So maybe Australians it's prime time. I don't know. Either way, you can see the difference in the numbers. So anyways, like I was saying, I don't understand why there's not more of a following for YouTube. I seriously doubt I'm the first person to be like, hey, let's make a YouTube series, you know? And if I am, hey, fucking right on. Right on. Maybe there'll be some support for this, and, you know, we can do it a little bit more regularly. We'll see. I am looking at changing things up on my channel and trying to find some new stuff. So if it turns out that this is something that's big and it's a hit, then so be it. So be it. Anyways, I don't know how we got sidetracked there. I have a tendency, I guess that's one of the benefits or one of the drawbacks of doing what I do for a living is you have a tendency to just kind of lose yourself in your dialogue. You just get to talking about different things, and I don't know. It's kind of interesting because, you know, from one standpoint, it's kind of cathartic because I can sit here and I can talk to you guys about stuff that's on my mind. I guess it's the equivalent of, you know, back in the early double aughts or whatever we've decided. And let me know in the comment section below what we call people, or what we call the time period from 2000 to 2010, what that period is. It's kind of like the people back then who used to use blogs or something like that. You know, it allows you to kind of just chat, get stuff off your chest, and I don't know, it's kind of interesting. All right, so we're going to deposit all of our copper ore here. We've got a little bit more copper ore than we have bronze, but that's okay. We're not really concerned about that for now. I am keeping all of my, all of my ores and such in their own little chest. Reason for that is it just makes it a little bit easier. We will probably end up doing some more different tabs as we go on. God knows we're going to need them. So one of our other quests that we needed, or not our quests, but our other tasks for right now, under challenges, click on daily. Let's go ahead and click there. Challenges. That is it. Normal logs. Let's click on pin. Okay, so that's an oak tree. Do you want to attempt to teleport the nearest lodestone to your challenge? No, I do not need it, but I just want it pinned. It's kind of interesting though. The different challenges here, they actually have like locations that you're supposed to do them at, or you're usually supposed to do them at, and it will actually teleport you to those nearby locations. Unfortunately, the directions aren't always necessarily the smartest option. They are, I guess they're considered the quote-unquote spot for that quest, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's the best spot for that quest, if you know what I mean. Because, you know, obviously right here we're in Lumbridge, which is very similar to the Lumbridge in 2007, but not identical. It has a smeltery here, right here. So it seems like they've added a lot of quality of life changes in RuneScape 3 that are not in 2007. And I kind of personally appreciate it. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess I can understand why In the other version, you want to spread things out because it forces people to teleport. But, at the same time, I'm not going to complain because my jobs or my life's made a little bit easier by some quality of life updates. So that is one of the other nice things about RuneScape 3 is the teleportation network here. Once you visit a town, you can TP back to it, which makes it very nice. Whereas in 2007, like if you make it to Ardo or Ardogny, I still don't know how to pronounce that damn thing. I call it Ardo. If it's Ardogny, whatever. If it's Ardogny, that just sounds retarded. I'm sorry. I mean, even if it is, I apologize. I'm not trying to make fun of your culture or your naming schematic. If that's a French thing, I don't know. I'm not trying to insult your language, even though I'm kind of reminds me of that Dave Chappelle skit where he's like, it's not like I'm going to go over to somebody's couch or somebody's house and put my muddy boots up on their couch. I wouldn't do something like that. Yeah, I remember putting my muddy boots up on Eddie's couch. It's kind of those situations. Like, but Ardogny to my Texan ass just sounds a little off. It just sounds a little off. I don't know. It's definitely not how we say things around here. But I guess everybody's got their own way of doing things. God dang it! As soon as we're gonna go ahead and go across. Screw it, we're going across. I'm tired of hanging out here. So the reason we're doing these different quests here is it's cool. They've got a little like mine thing here or something. I like that. That's fucking sweet. And I do like how in this version they have this actual wall here. I don't know. It's interesting, some of the quality of life changes that they've done. So, let me know what version of RuneScape you like and why. Now, that does bring up another interesting point that I'm trying to understand between RuneScape 2007 and RuneScape 3. For instance, down here you're going to notice I have a bunch of abilities on my bar. If we click on this right here, you can see under the magic section here, hopefully we can keep chopping trees, you can see I have all of these skills. Now these are the normal RuneScape skills. These are the ones that are available in 2007. And then we have these, which are quote-unquote abilities. Now, unless I'm just dumb, I don't think these are in 2007. These are in RuneScape 2003 or RS3. Do you use these over the other ones? I mean, is it one of those situations where like you can use either? Do you use both? Are there times when you want to use one or the other? Because it seems like, from what I can tell, these are just fine for combat arts. So it's interesting because the other ones are there. It's just they may not necessarily be needed. So I'm sure there's some benefits to them. I mean, there may be some abilities that you can't get elsewise. But it is kind of interesting that these magical powers do not require runes to use, whereas the other ones do. So kind of interesting there. Kind of interesting. So I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure there's some reasoning behind it. There's a rhyme to your reason or something along those lines. All right, so we've knocked out 2 of our quests. We're going to go up here to Burthorpe, which actually I do not believe exists in 2007. I may be wrong about that. But I don't recall a town named Burthorpe in 2007. Now, then again, I didn't spend a whole lot of time in 2007, but I'm pretty sure I would have remembered. Okay, so I can't pull up the world map. Yeah, I don't remember this place here. Because I do remember Edgeville. Of course, I didn't go all the way over here. Yeah, I stayed away from the White Wolf Mountains. Everybody kept talking about me going over there and dying. And they were all giggling about it because they knew I was going to end up getting toasted over there. So maybe it is up there. I don't know. I don't know. So this is the lady that you talk to get your challenges complete. So we're going to talk to her, get our 2 ones done. There we go. And then our next one, check the clay. Awesome. Now, I'm curious, does she actually take my stuffs? It looks like she does. So she does. She actually takes your stuff, which I'm not going to complain about. I'm not going to say it's too big a deal. It is kind of a bummer. Interesting. So we got some adamantine ore, and we got some magic logs. Now, I don't know exactly what magic logs are going to be used for. I'm assuming they're going to be used eventually for some kind of some crafting of some kind, obviously. But obviously they're really no use for us right now. So we'll come over here to the banker and store everything up and get those deposited. Rocks there. Now, from what I understand, these are banknotes, so I can't, well, they've already been turned in. So deposit magic logs. It's so weird though that I would get this as a reward, like just one single. It's like here's your reward. Enjoy. Don't spend it all in one place, buddy. Don't spend it all in one place. All right, so it looks like here we have two other skills. One is to go to a place I've never heard of, and one is to start the Slayer skill. Now, Slayer skill is one of those things that I know absolutely nothing about. I'm not saying it's a hard skill to learn or anything, but from what I understand, it's a specific type of monster or something like that can only be killed with Slayer EXP or whatnot. So since I do not, I guess there's like a quest or something I have to start, I'll have to look into it. I know it's probably not nearly as complicated or difficult as I'm making it sound. Either way, it'll be something that we're going to need to look into, I guess, at a later time. Well, at least not right now. We did almost double our money, though. We went from 900 to 1,800, so I'm definitely not complaining about that. So we got 25 and 25. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 times 4 is 28. So we have a total of 28 spots. We're going to go ahead and deposit our bow. We're going to withdraw 10. And then we're going to withdraw 1, 2, 3, 4. And then here I can withdraw all, which will take up the other slots. There we go. And then we want to come over here to this little spot there. And this is one of the things I do love about RuneScape 3 is it's changed. You actually have a smeltery here, which is absolutely awesome. And this right here, I love this little window. You click the button and it just does it. You don't have to worry about it. It's kind of nice. It makes things a little simplified. Again, it's just quality of life changes. And I mean, I understand that some people don't like the new combat system. I'm cool with that. But why not get some of these other quality of life changes in? I mean, would that mess things up that much to have these nice quality of life changes put in? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and smelt these bars down, complete the ones that we've got over there, and maybe do a little bit more smelting, try and get a little bit closer to where we can do some iron, since we know where iron's at. I don't know, we may even do a couple of quests, maybe join the mining guild, who knows. Won't be staying up too much later tonight because I got an early day tomorrow. But I did want to make this video. Hopefully you guys will enjoy listening to me ramble just pointlessly. As always, if you did, please slap that like button. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next clip.